Oh, damn you, Civivi. Damn you. I gotta tell you, I've been waiting for this for a little bit. When I first wanted to get one of these, let's see, it wasn't available. Like, I mean, it was available, but as soon as I had the funds to acquire one, it was sold out, and it stayed sold out for a decent amount of time. So I was a little upset about it, but I let it pass. Time has gone by, and the specific area that's where I normally get my knives ended up restocking this item, to my surprise. There's one funny thing though. At the same time that I purchased one, I actually traded for another, and I got them around the same time. So really good stuff. So let's go ahead and talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into today. I got for you guys, as you guys have already known, it's the Civivi Elementum. But it's not just the ordinary Elementum, guys. It is the button lock feature. Sorry, I'm trying to find the... There it is. Button lock Elementum. Carbon fiber handle. Alright, so this is a normal carbon fiber handle. I want to say it's like a... well, it's not the really cool black and red or the black and blue that I've seen. Oh, tactical silica. There we go. Comes with your ever so famous tactical silica pack that you can throw at your enemies and watch them burn, or not, because it won't work. Don't do that. It'll just make you look stupid. Here it is. It comes in a standard Civivi pouch, and you know, you get a lot of bang for your buck when it comes to Wii knives and Civivi. You get your... open it up. I'm going to show you guys what you get. You get your 2 stickers. You get your knife sticker. You get your company sticker. And you get your reading material. Alright. And you get your microfiber cloth, which are always great having these around, wiping down. And it's not just good for knives. It can be good for your glasses. It could be good for anything. Anything, your cell phone, whatever you need to wipe your, stuff off of. Now, this is a nice case, nice felt case. It's got a little bit of schmutz in there, but that's okay. I mean, it still works, right? And, yeah, I'm going to put this off to the side, so you guys don't have to see that. And here it is. It comes in your Wii/Civivi bag. There we go. Alright, so... Sorry, my arm was itching. Might be mosquito bite. Anyways, so here it is, and it's nice glory. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I really do. I like Civivi because they have good stuff at reasonable prices, and a lot of their stuff has really caught my attention. Not too many things, but just some things that I know other companies aren't doing. What I really like is that they're doing flush screws. So the screws aren't protruding outside of the handle at all. They're just nice and flush. One thing that I don't like about this knife is, and it's the only thing I don't like, is the fact that the pocket clip is not recessed into the liner. Now, is that a huge deal? Well, I guess that all really depends on your own preference. I don't see a problem in it too much in and out of the pocket, but I do prefer it to be flush so that way it's less of an issue. In and out of the pocket should be nice and sturdy. In and out of the pocket, there shouldn't be any hang-up because of something as small as the pocket clip being raised. But I haven't had any issues. This is a nice thin pocket clip, and it seems to do just fine. But you sound like you've already carried this knife. I have. Obviously, I've already mentioned that I had 2 of these. So here's the other one. This one is in the dark green micarta. In this light, you can kind of see it. I didn't see it at first. It kind of looks like a dirty gray. But I like that. It actually doesn't look like an ugly green. I don't care for green handles. I never really have. Anytime I got a green handle, I try to ignore it, try to appreciate the blade or the knife for what it is. If there are other colors I'd choose it, but, you know, I don't know why, but some knife companies would go for, like, the military or the tactical kind of colors, like OD green and coyote tan and baby vomit brownish yellow, or some weird ass color that no one really wants, and then they start to, you know, oh, they don't like this one. Well, there's a reason, you know. Foliage gray, or some weird ass color that nobody wants to choose. Now, I'm not saying OD green sucks. I just don't prefer it. All right, I'm not a huge fan of green handles, but this is nice. This actually looks like, you know, not ugly. It to me. You know, but I do appreciate knives, whatever color they're in. You know, so I'm not gonna get into that. That's a whole another topic for another video for another time. I'm just a standard run of the mill. I like dark colors. You know, gray, black, brown. I like to keep it, you know, dark brown or earth brown, not, you know, some other weird color that nobody likes. I try to just keep it in the sense of a dark color. I don't know why, it's just how I prefer my knives. Anyways, so this features the button lock. Now, there's a difference between these two knives, obviously. Blade steel. You got your Damascus, which I don't know what the composition is. If anybody can leave it in the comment section, I'd really appreciate that. Because anytime I look for it, it's like, oh, I got the answers for the Damascus steel. You click on it, and it's Damascus. You just told me that you had the answer for it. And Damascus. What is it? Is it VG10 with a 8CR14 MO something something? You gotta tell me. So, yeah, Damascus. I don't know what it is. It could be a composition of two cheaper steels to make one lesser cheaper steel. I don't know. And then, of course, we got the ever so famous 14C28N Sandvik Steel, which you can kind of see right at the bottom of that blade right there. 14C, you can see it right there. 14C28N. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a huge fan of Sandvik Steel. Two reasons. One, it doesn't really seem to hold up an edge. Two, for some weird reason, anytime that I cut something, and it could be simple, it doesn't have to be paper related, it just can be like cutting a zip tie or cutting through some plastic clamshell, all of a sudden there's a little bit of burr here and there. Now I do realize that every company is different with their Sandvik steel. I don't know about this company. I haven't tried their Sandvik steel. This will be the first time, and I've carried this for a little bit now. I want to say probably about a week I've carried this knife, and I do enjoy it very much. I do love the Micarta handle scales. It feels great, very texture grippy, and the blade's nice. It seems to be holding up, even though I haven't really pounded down on the blade at all. I don't really plan to. I'm not a really hard user with my knives. But it seems to hold up okay. So this 14C28N is okay. I've noticed that certain companies do it differently, and their heat treatments might suck. I've noticed Sandvik Steel, I'm not a huge fan of it. If they could choose anything, I'd probably choose a D2 steel over Sandvik Steel. But that's just me. I mean, who knows? You know, it could be different. I might end up liking this steel, but like I said, it all just depends on the company. But yeah, so you got that flow-through design, at least for the most part. You got your lanyard post that's hidden inside of the handle, which is fantastic. I really do like that. You got your Micarta handle scales and Micarta handles liner, I shouldn't say liner, backspacer, excuse me. And it's a very simple construction. I'll move on to this one. Now, this one's about the same thing, except for the blade steel being some sort of mysterious Damascus steel. And the only thing I don't like about this knife right here is that you have carbon fiber slabs, right? And that's beautiful marbled carbon fiber, which to me, in my own opinion, I would have done just regular carbon fiber, not the marbled. It just looks like the sweepings of whatever carbon fiber that was milled and then fell on the floor. They just swept it up and then remade it into a handle. I just, that's how I see it, and it just doesn't look right to me. But it does. I try to look at it differently and try to appreciate it, and it does look nice. It just doesn't provide any type of grip, so it is a little bit slidey in the hand. But it's okay. I mean, it looks pretty, right? So you can switch your pocket clip from left to right, and it's the same thing with the other guy back that way. The only thing I don't like about this knife in particular is the fact that I've heard that this little spacer here is plastic. Why? Why plastic? Is it a tactical plastic? Is it a... I can only hope that it's some sort of durable plastic. But it seems to hold up to a lot of people. They say that they don't really notice it. It doesn't bother them. Whatever. I'm fine with that. It just bothers me that they couldn't make this carbon fiber like this and this. Instead, they chose plastic for this. Now, that was a main argument between me and a buddy of mine who I actually got that one from. And he told me that the only reason why he didn't purchase the carbon fiber one in Damascus is because of this part right here of the knife. That was his make it or break it. He decided not to purchase it because they didn't make these equal to this one part of the knife. I think that's pretty ridiculous. If you are interested in this, you should get it, especially if you have that. I'm not gonna go into that guy's logic. He's got far more knives than I ever will. So, but anyways, I really do like the design of Damascus. I think it's really nice. Civivi seems to do it right. Their Damascus hasn't let me down. It really hasn't. It seems to be holding up pretty well, especially with the other Damascus Civivis that I already have. Sadly, I got rid of one, but that was because I knew that I wasn't really carrying it as much, and I just didn't really like the blade shape too much. It was nice, but I wanted something a little bit more modern, and I'm keeping the modern one, so I got rid of an old one. So I went ahead and traded that one. So it's all right. Knives come and go. I like baseball cards to me. I'll trade them whenever I can. But these are great. The button lock feature is the only way of deployment for this knife, which is arguably what causes people to either want this knife or not want it. What the heck do I mean by that? Well, because in certain places this might be considered a gravity knife, because there's no other means of deployment. As you can see, there are no thumb studs, there are no nail nicks, there are no flipper tabs. All you have is the button lock. And that creates this to fall into the gray area standard of knives, which kind of causes people to scratch their head. And if you like it, you're going to carry it. It's nice deep carry. And one of my buddies who's a police officer was telling me he has like 3 or 4 of these, and they're all different flavors. And he was talking to me recently, and he goes, "Yeah, we don't care." And I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "We don't care. Just, don't get caught." And I was like, well, that's not very advisable for somebody to be saying. And he goes, "Look, man, there are people that walk around with all kinds of stuff in their possession, whether it be drugs, a freaking gun, you know what I mean?" And then he's like, "We don't know what you carry. As long as you're not broadcasting it, we don't give a care. We got bigger fish to fry. And, if we catch you and you're in cuffs and we confiscate what you have on you, obviously, if we, pat you down, and then, yeah, that's when you get in trouble. But if you're running around like a maniac and you're going, 'I got this,' he goes, we honestly don't care. That's more paperwork we don't want to do." So that was just funny to talk to him like that and have him tell me that. And he goes, "Look, man, as long as you don't use it as a weapon, you're fine." And I was like, "Does that go for switchblades?" And he goes, "No, that's a different story." And he's like, "That's a whole nother topic I don't want to get into." But he was a funny guy about it. He told me technically that this is a knife that's going to confuse a lot of people because the way of deployment seems a bit safer. Because you can't deploy the knife any other way. You can pull on this all you want. It's not going to open up. You could find the flipper tab, some kind of front flipper, no. Some kind of thumb stud, nail nick, no. Can't pull it open without unlocking or disengaging this button right here. You have to push that down And then, yeah. So it runs on bearings as far as I am told, and as far as I know, it runs on bearings. It's nice and smooth action. I would check your guys' knife laws if you guys are able to purchase this knife. I'm sure you could own it. Purchase it on the Blade HQ because they consider this a manual open knife, so you can purchase this knife as far as carrying it. And if you are wanting to be a little bit more responsible, I would say to just, keep it at home or be mindful when you do carry it. Now, this is not a huge knife. It comes in at 3.5 inches blade length, but we'll go ahead and get into the specs of that right now because I think I've done enough jibber-jabber about my own personal thoughts of this knife. I can tell you right now, this has got fidget factor 101, probably one of the funnest things I've ever held in my hand. Popping this open the way that I do and swinging it closed. It will bounce if you keep your finger on the button. And I gotta tell you right now, the button is metal. And it's got concentric circles starting from the middle, and it spans outwards. Not like a spiral, just a bunch of circles, kind of see that right there. It's nice for grip. I can feel it, but it's not too overbearing. You know what I mean? So anyways, we'll get into the specs because I know I'm reviewing 2 knives in one video. So I'm just going to tell you right now, you can't have one without the other, because if you appreciate one knife, you got to be able to have both flavors. You got to have the regular and the Damascus if you're a collector, at least in my opinion. Comes in at a very light 3.10 ounces. I thought it said 3.11 for a minute. I'm going to weigh the other one just to see how much the carbon fiber comes into, and you're looking at 3.17, so it might be the Damascus steel that's probably weighing it down just a tad, but I could be wrong. Alright, so I'm going to... Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera right there. And of course, we'll go ahead and get into the blade length. I'll put this off to the side because this is the one I'm carrying right now. But they're both practically the same knife. It's just different materials. Yeah, 3.5 inches on the blade with an overall, wow, I want to say it's right at 8 inches. And handle length, you're looking at a 4.5 inch handle? Almost. 4 3/8, but yeah, I want to say 4.5 inch. We'll get into the width of things. Let me get my calipers real quick. Alright, so blade is coming in at a 2.7 millimeters and the handle is coming in at a 10.9. Alright. So there's all that stuff if that matters to you guys. I'm going to tell you right now, Civivi is just... They're doing a lot of awesome stuff. Would I like this in a 4-inch blade? Oh, man. I would love this knife in a 4-inch blade. I'm actually curious to see how that would go. And it's a bigger knife, but not a lot of people will buy it because everybody's, in that trend of carrying smaller knives nowadays. It's so funny because when I've carried knives in the past, it was always about the bigger knives. It was always about the 4-inch knives, and then the smaller knives kind of just phased in. So now I'm seeing a lot more people carrying smaller little baby knives for their little baby hands. Because a little baby... Never mind. Anyways... I don't mind it. I try not to go... If I carry something by itself, then it has to be no smaller than 3.5 inches. No bigger than 4.5? 4.5 to 5 inches would be something that I would carry at the max length. But 5 inches and 4.5 inches, those are monster blades for no real reason other than, being scary. But something like this, as simple as it is... It's just an awesome thing to fidget with. I mean, it's so fun to just flip open and closed. If you get the timing just right, it's fun. It really is. It is fantastic. The carryability of this knife is super light. You don't even know it's there. And the deep carry pocket clip is fantastic, which you can switch from right to left, which I probably already mentioned. But there is no tip down carry. And you know what? And that's okay. I prefer mine to be tip up because when I have it in my pocket, at least the blade's all the way up to the seam of my pocket. And I don't have to worry about it coming open at any time. I can just go in there, get it out, pop it open, use it, and then, put it away. So it's very beautiful stuff. Oh, the Elementum, the push-button Elementum. I'd get one. Or two. Or 3 or 4. I don't know. It all just depends on you. If you're into this sort of thing or you're interested in it, the price tags on these kind of vary. It just depends on where you go. This one is probably a little. This one's obviously a little bit more expensive. I want to say about like around about 70, 80. This one's about 60, 70. Now, I'm giving those price tags because I kind of see it go up and down depending on where you go. If you go to Blade HQ, I think they're pretty decent prices. These knives aren't really hugely breaking the bank. This one, I think, is closer to 100 than this one, obviously. But it's still, a budget-friendly knife because they're both under 100. Now, tax and shipping, obviously, will make that into something different, but that just all depends on your taste. If you're a simple guy, I'd go with this one first. The Micarta is fantastic. The blade steel is great, I'm assuming, because a lot of people say that Sandvik Steel is better than AUS 8, so there's that. This mysterious Damascus steel that I have no idea what the composition of, well, I mean, it's nice and light. It's great. It's pretty looking. And if you're a collector, this might be something you want to throw in your collection. So, that all depends on you. I would check it out. So anyways, go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon so you guys are notified anytime I post new stuff. And in these craziest of times, everybody please be kind, be safe, carry responsibly, and I'll see you all awesome people in the next video.